This collage was created by my friend Carmen. She gave it to me last week as a birthday present. I didn't want to just take a flat photograph of it. I thought video would really do this more justice, and I want to talk about some of the individual elements of the piece. The overall theme of it has to do with me, my mother, and my father. Here in the upper right, that's a picture of me as a toddler, barely an infant, and right beneath it she has put, this part is not a reproduction, it is the actual little delicate bracelet bearing my last name that was around my wrist when I was a newborn infant. Just to the left of that, this is a plastic and paper bracelet that my mother wore when she was in the hospital having me. And then to the left of that is this little card that was prepared by the St. Joseph Mercy Hospital in Detroit, stating all my vital statistics. Looking below that, we have this curious photograph from the 1980s. That's my dad on the left and me on the right. That was all of my own hair at the time, and those were my dark wraparound sunglasses. And Carmen has included a quote, something my father actually said to me once. He said, "Every one of you had your own personality from the first day I laid eyes on you. I never wanted to tell any of you what to do with your lives. I wanted all of you to be individuals and make your own choices." Other major things in this collage. This kind of hard to see piece of paper here is something that says, "Mrs. Green has formula book," and more understandably, discharge weight 127.59, 6 pounds 15 ounces. To the right of that, this is a photograph from about 1940. That is my mother and her first communion photo. Now this large item here was actually my dad's hat. This is the actual hat in the collage. This was his hat, his everyday hat, when he was in the Air Force in Texas in the early 1950s. Other major devices in the collage. Down here there's a photograph of my mother and me. That was from when I was doing the show Tony and Tina's Wedding in Chicago, and she came to Chicago to see the show. This was actually less than 2 years before she passed away. The reason I look so silly in that picture is that I was playing the role of the caterer, Vinnie Black, that night. And then you see this was a little bit of musical humor that I first heard from my mother. If you can see what it says, "Never be sharp, never be flat, always be natural." And it's surrounded with other, musical symbols, music stand, keyboard, and other things in the background. This is an actual crochet hook that belonged to my mother. Carmen came into possession of a lot of my mother's yarn and craft supplies after my mom passed away. And then there are various other borders and devices that also have significance to our family. And I should mention down here right at the bottom, Carmen found a little Hot Wheels car. That's a Hot Wheels car of a 1970 Dodge Challenger. She got that, mindful of the fact that my father worked for the Chrysler Corporation for many, many years. You also see this collection of miniature tools, which of course denotes my father's handiness. And I would be remiss if I did not mention this piece of foliage you see in the background. And even in standing here in person, it's difficult to see, but what she has put below it is the word F-O-I-L-A-G-E, foliage, because she remembered that that's how my father usually said the word. Various other little symbols like this G, which is a reference to the large white G that for many years was on the awning, the front awning of my parents' house in Roseville, Michigan. Anyway, there are various other little details that I hope you get a chance to see in person one of these days, but I wanted to give you a little tour of this, what I consider to be a really amazing collage, and I'm very grateful to Carmen for putting this together, and I hope you enjoyed this little tour.